Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the YouTube channel. If this is the first time seeing me on your YouTube page, go ahead and slap the motherfucking shit out yourself because you should have been known about me earlier. Real talk. You go hit that subscribe button. Now today, shit I'm bringing you is Florida really that bad? This is obviously brought to you by Trap University, you know what I'm saying? I saw this on my For You page, you know what I'm saying, while I was scrolling on YouTube, and I thought it would be a funny video to bring to the YouTube channel. So we're going to be reacting to it, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, if you guys are new, hit the subscribe button. Let's get straight on into it.
Now, Florida, like most of the South, was one of the last places I ever expected to hop on the disrespectful music trend of dissing dead people. And while most of us probably got an introduction to Florida being dangerous around 2021, depending on how old you are, of course, Florida has always been as dangerous as it is beautiful, depending on where you're at. From the first Europeans exploring Florida and immediately getting slammed into the coast before getting lost in a storm, can't think of a better introduction to Florida, to be honest, all the way to the cocaine cowboys of the 80s. It's always been crazy to me that so
if
many
you didn't
people
know,
go
I
down
got
here on
that movie
vacation
tatted on my
without knowing
arm,
anything
bro.
about where they are
Scarface.
for
Shout
real.
out Scarface. One of my favorite movies out there, you know what I'm saying?
Other than the white
if you've never
sand
seen
and the palm
Scarface, y'all need to
beaches,
watch
why
it,
do
bro.
people
Real
from
shit, real
small
shit.
towns and even other dangerous cities move to and visit one of the most dangerous counties in the South? Seriously, Miami-Dade County, by crime rate, or the rate of crime in relation to the number of people there, is the place you're most likely to become a victim of something outside of, you guessed it,
Hold on, what? In total violent crimes in 2019 was 5,000, almost 6,000. Violent crimes per 100,000 people was 647, bro. That is crazy, bro. That is crazy. That was in Jacksonville. My fault. That was in Jacksonville, and then there's Miami, and then Orlando. Damn. That made me wonder. Oh my God.
Jacksonville, which I will admit not many people are moving to, but I'm kind of scared of Florida in general. And this crime rate around Miami-Dade County is crazy considering Alabama and Louisiana exist. New Orleans don't count because that's by far one of the most treacherous cities you can visit on this side of the planet outside of Mexico. Don't let all the
New Orleans is crazy, bro.
Make you forget where you are.
Baton Rouge is crazy, bro.
But with Florida and especially Miami, you gotta remember that the crime statistics are often inflated with various strange and random crimes, such as a man punching a kid in the face during the 10th soccer game, posing as doctors and performing cosmetic surgeries without a license, since everybody wants a lip filler or a nose job and everything else. And of course, you can't forget about
stay away from plastic surgery, bro. Y'all don't need that shit, chat.
The window. But where do you even start when it comes to gang violence in Florida? But let's start in Jacksonville briefly. Now, assuming that this map is accurate, most of the 55 murders that took place from March 31st, 2024 to March 31st, 2025 all happened just outside of, I guess you can call these gang territories. Now I use that term loosely because you can ask any dude in any hood in America what block his hood stressed from, and he'll probably give you an over-exaggerated answer. Like, for instance, let's say you hang on 15th Street on the Midwest side of Jacksonville, and the guys you call on a federally ass fucking. Which one of y'all is gonna say 14th Street is part of y'all hood? Probably both of y'all. And this is why things like this don't really matter anymore. 30 years ago, when a lot of gangs were structured around drugs and money, claiming a block actually meant something because you typically didn't want any competition where you set up shop, which is pretty self-explanatory. But of course, nowadays, guys will just claim a street because it contains their favorite store to shop in. Is there even structure like this in Jacksonville, or is it every man for themselves? Let me know, Florida people. I remember back when I visited the suburban side of my family in Arizona in 2016.
I think it's a little bit of both. You better stay on your side while I'm on my side.
When from my personal experience, that hasn't been the case in decades.
What it sounds like.
A gang is typically just a group of teenagers that grew up together and already hung out together. So all recruiting means is hanging out with strangers, and with the disrespectful backdoor culture that's spread around the entire country today, that's probably one of the dumbest things you can do. And from what I know, Nation has not even a factor in Jacksonville, which makes it just as renegade as somewhere like Chicago. Jacksonville is just a city full of cliques, although you'll find the SMM Bloods, which is a set that started in the Bronx. But Florida do got the death penalty, so not being a law-abiding citizen out there is crazy. Like, bro, they just tried to pass a.
You walking, not abiding to the laws, knowing damn well your state got death penalty, my nigga? You playing on hardcore, dog, already. And now you playing on ultra hardcore? It's crazy.
law to allow firing squad executions. I don't really know what the line is that you got between life and death row, but it probably varies per state. They even took the death penalty back in the 70s, but they ended up bringing it back 4 years later because they love it that much. So you don't gotta ask why Queso Pops is cooperating on him. Plus, back in his Pops day, it probably wasn't such a thing to be bragging on social media about crimes you committed, so you could say his kids did that to themselves. But I always thought the South was all about respect and hospitality. When I first went away to college, I was still kind of up north, and the first thing my homie from down in Jacksonville, Mississippi noticed was how rude people were in the Midwest compared to down south. Now this was back in 2015, 16, but where he came from, vice lords was riding on horses with rifles on their backs, and people down south still had a better reputation than anything north of Tennessee, which you can just lump Memphis in with the Midwest, because not only is them our cousins in Chicago, but most of us in Chicago literally have cousins in Memphis. Anyway, the Orlando guy.
That is very true. I mean, bro, I do not know how many times I've heard of people from Chicago. Hold on. Let me show you something before y'all get on my ass, bro. Look at my fucking keychain, right? What does that say right there? What that say? That's Chicago. So shut the fuck up. All right.
Guys will tell you that Miami is where you just go.
Look at the YM, bro.
It's kind of sweet out there compared to their city, which we know they're exaggerating a little bit. It do go down to Orlando.
We get over there, bro.
Robert, it goes down. No, it don't.
Oh.
And of course, Miami has some very wealthy neighborhoods.
I went floating one time. I don't think I'll ever do that shit a day again in my life, bro. Hell no. I almost died.
And for the most part, it is kind of a party city. For being a city with over 400,000 people that had less than 40 murders in 2023, that just proves that it's at least safe for locals. Sometimes out-of-towners don't seem to have the same luck, but you can just attribute that to them not knowing what's going on.
I think you'll be alright though, bro.
Everybody goes to Miami. So if you just look at the news,
I feel like, bro, if you go somewhere, dog, have some fucking social awareness, bro. I swear, the most stupid motherfuckers want to travel and be in the dumbest spots and then get hit up, bro.
You've seen guys be tracked, followed, and killed while on vacation down there. Also, a lady flew across the country and threatened Donald Trump's son's school while she was stalking him multiple times. She got let off pretty easy, by the way. I don't know what's up with that. But overall, in Miami, it seems like you're more likely to be pickpocketed or just have your property damaged. Oh yeah, getting your car stolen is a pretty big thing down there. But property damage and theft seems to be more common in places with such a visible wealth gap as you will see in Miami. I mean, just look at California, where it's almost a sport to break in and rob somebody's house, which I don't support, but man, it's crazy that anybody that's not a millionaire
breaking and entering, dog, don't do that shit. That shit is not it, bro. You do not know how tough that is.
To your surroundings, especially
you don't know how tough that shit is until you fucking get going into that motherfucker, bro. I'm telling you.
How many peeping Tom crimes I kept seeing on the news when I was making this video. Even the places a lot of people might not know about.
Motherfuckers like to peep in them places that they shouldn't be peeping. Mind your goddamn business. Mind your business.
My cousin that definitely got shot at down there playing too much with the Haitians. Florida is huge. From the Panhandle to the Keys, you never really know what you're going to get when you visit. The further north you go, the more country it gets, and the further south you go, well, you can pretty much get anything. Just please, out-of-town people, I beg you, stop going to Florida during hurricane season. It must be so disappointing as a Floridian when you spent the last week boarding your house up because you see a storm coming, and then you see all these new cars pulling into town every day, and you think they might have come down to help, but it turns out it's just a bunch of people from the Midwest that came down to get drunk. Just look at the calendar. Hurricane season can't sneak up on you when you're planning a trip because it happens at the same time every year. But I'm wasting my breath because this is an ongoing.
If I do end up going to Florida someday, bro, I'll make sure not to go during fucking hurricane season. I ain't trying to get flooded out there, dog.
Problem, and it probably won't ever stop. At least the Florida people are used to
nice ass outlets. What the fuck?
Out-of-towners clogging the highway trying to escape once they see the hurricane coming, and as a result, actually preventing people that live in Florida from escaping is crazy work. But thanks to everybody tuning in.
Nah,
I really
for
do
real.
Appreciate y'all, man. For real. I might do another European city next. Shout out to all my viewers on the other side of the pond, or maybe somewhere in Northern California or the Bay.
I guess you could say I'm Northern California because these motherfuckers ain't never gonna talk about Oregon or Portland. Yo, talk about the fucking prostitutes out here, nigga. Talk about how I can go down the street, go to a strip club, walk down the street again, walk to another strip club. Do a video about that, motherfucker. All right.
Memphis, Atlanta, either way. We got
There's hoes out here, dog. There's underground tunnels out here, dog. Figure that shit out. Catch y'all boys in the next one. I love y'all. Stay tuned.